variety. All right, we want to come back to the instrument then, because this is a very interesting thing, you know. This is really a roots drink, a roots drink bottle. And the man used this as an instrument. So I don't know how many people want to try this at home. But you can try this at home. It is not dangerous to try this at home. All right. We could hear what kind of sound you will get out of that. Whoa! No! the first note win. The first note win. You know, it's interesting, you know, because this string thing, that buckle remind me of my young days when we are running up and down the road and I use and I do them things. It's almost like a genetic memory in the African people that even when we live out that African experience, but we don't realize it's an African experience because blowing buckle is something where you do in Jamaica. I mean, that's as professional as what you just do, but we used to blow buckle in Jamaica, and we can see say it's something we get lost somewhere between McDonald's and the denim jeans them we wear. It get corroded in between the passage there, and it's a very interesting.
We can't escape, I don't believe, being who we are. It is embedded in us. You know, last night I'm constantly doing research. I went out with some musician friends of mine to go and see what was going on. I went to something called Passion Sundays, I think, and I was looking at the young men. It's about one of the
street dance them.
Yeah. And they were up there. They were talking, and it's out of the griot tradition, straight up, because they were the news. From what I could understand, you understand because of the language. You know, some things go over my head, but what I could hear, they were the newspapers. They were passing the news.
The griot.
They were the griots.
Reporting.
You know, they just, some of them may not know how it came about.
Yeah, well, that's the thing now with the memory, because a lot of our traditions is embedded in African tradition, but when the Jamaican people do it, they don't know that they're living out that African experience. They just do it out of the genetic memory that is embedded in them. And it's very difficult, because sometimes you will tell somebody, say, that is African, and them say, no, sir. But, you know, for those of us who know Africa and go there and realize those movement and even some of the mannerisms that we project in this part of the world is directly related to some African retention.
There's so many African retentions that have survived in Jamaica, particularly. I mean, it's Africa.
Yes, yes.
It's like you're in Ghana.
Yes. Yeah, when you go to land in the airport in Africa, in Ghana, you don't even know, say, you live. All right. We want to move from that to this now, because this of all the instruments them is very, I mean, this fascinates me. I mean, we can understand them things there, calabash, broom, buckle, piece of string with this and that, because as we say, it's what we used to do in a picnic, even though we're not playing it professionally as how you play it. But this instrument, what the hell is this?
Okay, this is called hung. It's a hung drum.
Hung?
Hung.
That's so like a European hung.
Well, it's some Germans who supposedly invented this particular drum, and it's been around for a few years, and it's highly sought after in the percussion world, but it still has its own kind of like of an underground movement.
Yeah.
It's used a lot in meditational circles.
Okay.
People use this to meditate. I found it to be very interesting when I first found out about it, and I tried to get my hands on it, but it was very difficult.
It looked like a steel pan in reverse. Like they made a plan to make a steel pan and then lick the pan the other way and turn it around the other side.
When I went to, the makers live in Bern, Switzerland.
Okay.
And last year, the end of last year, I think it was in November, I was in Switzerland, and I had an appointment with them where I met them and picked up the drum. They gave me several drums to select from. And they told me about the process, and they showed me the machines that they use, and they talked about the alloys and the hammer that they use. They were given by a famous, I can't remember his name right now, steel pan player out of Trinidad.
From Trinidad. Ah, that's why I said, no, it looked like a reverse steel pan.
Well, if he gave them the hammer, he must have also gave them some other information.
Of course, of course.
And they went, being scientists, you know, the Germans and their BMWs.
Yeah.
You know, they went and,
it looked like two wax. It looked like two wax put together. Yeah. So this you have band in Germany that have all this instrument, just like you have all 7 of them in a one band.
No, usually you see you have players of the hang, and they may work in bands. They may be percussionists or other instrumentalists, musicians, and they play in a band. May have a guitar, bass, may have a bassoon or a violin, whatever you want.
So you couldn't go in America and see this in the music store then?
Never. Not now. No. You might see it on eBay every now and then. A used one being sold.
Why? Why is it that is so, like?
Because the makers of this don't have a website. They don't have a public email address or telephone number. They only make a certain amount of these per year. And you have to put your order in, and then you have to wait approximately 1 year.
Okay.
You have to fly into Switzerland. And at times, sometimes they will ship it to you.
So you flew to Switzerland? You flew to Switzerland to get it?
Yes. Well, I was in Germany working. I was touring in Germany, and after we finished the German tour, we went into Switzerland. I knew I was going to Switzerland.
Yes.
I'm there, you know, like every year or so.
So how much an instrument like that cost? You never buy it.
Well, you know, you have arrangements. You know,
it's arrangement. Oh, choose a musical antique.
Well, I've seen it on eBay go for between $7,000 and $11,000 US.
Wow. Maybe try just go to Trinidad then. Just get one from Trinidad. Whoa! All right. Make we hear it, man. Make we hear it. Make we hear it. Make we hear it. It sounds almost Oriental, Trinidadian vibes. I mean, it have a kind of Oriental flair, you know, something in the China walls, and then it go right back into the carnival in Trinidad. I mean, you think that is a deliberate?
Well, the tuning, I understand exactly what you're saying. They have different tunings. They had 1 year where they were putting out a twa tuning. Of the, you know, from Central Africa.
Central Africa, yeah.
They have different tunings that they explored, and this particular tuning right here does sound very, very Oriental.
Yes, yes.
Yes, but the fact that it has that steel sound maybe brings reflections of a carnival environment.
Yes. So these are what give it the different.
Yes, the tunings. Yes, the different notes.
So how you tune that? How you tune it? I just come tune.
I can't tune it, but
you can't tune it.
But if I drop it, it can go out of tune.
Out of tune. So we have to send it back to Switzerland.
Exactly.
Wow.
Full fee.
I you pay that $11,000. You better don't drop that, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
So, what kind of metal make it, by the way? What kind